something we always say is healing is a journey.
Yes.
It's not a destination.
It's true to me, right? It's true to you. You feel that. We cannot pretend like that's not real just because somebody else is human. Right. Everybody has purpose, more than one purpose.
Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace and be healed of your affliction.
Because trauma is only our reaction to the habits that we learn.
Sister, I wanna see you feel, so I gotta keep it real. Sister, I wanna see you feel.
Hey y'all. My name is Nyabingha. I am a transformational speaker. I am a published author. I am a sacred facilitator, a spoken word poet, a divine mother. I am a sister who wears many head wraps and she wears them well. And I'm so grateful for all of you coming today to witness the beginnings of something so beautiful.
Yes.
It's actually not the beginning because it started off on the Instagrams of such. And I was like, what would it look like if I go live with only Black women uplifting voices of intellects, healers, educators, doctors, right? Because Black women are multifaceted and amazing. So what does it look like for us to come together and talk about what it means to heal, feel, and deal, right? And the sisterhood was born. And I believe that sisterhood can be healed within the Black community. It just takes work. It takes accountability. It takes hard conversation. It takes love. It takes joy. It takes peace. Right. And it also takes tears and getting on your knees and praying to God to say, help me, because I don't know if I got it in me today, right? So I am just so grateful, and that's my introduction. And I'm proud of myself, because usually I don't even introduce myself. I just pass it to everybody else. But now I want to go down the panel, and I want to let folks introduce themselves, because they do it way better than I do. And I want to start off with Sister Sasha. Well, you was right here. Y'all kept on moving me, so here we are. So I just want you to tell us, like, who are you? What do you do? I know that's a loaded question, but answer it how you feel fits you in this moment right now.
Okay, well, my name is Sasha Jackson. Hi, everybody. Very happy to be here. I am an aspiring author, a screenwriter. I am a mother of 6 going on 7. I am the co-founder and executive director of Mixed Behavior Foundation, which is a nonprofit here in Oakland. We serve youth and young adults through mental health advocacy, social and emotional learning through creativity, athletics, and violence prevention. So, like Miss Naya here, wear many hats. Like a lot of these ladies here, I'm sure, we wear many hats because, you know, we're super women, Black women, and we do it all. So.
Sister Jessica.
Hey y'all, my name is Jessica, preferably Jessica Bell. I am the founder and executive director here at the Selfish Society.
Hey, yes, thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. Please make yourselves comfortable. Let me know if y'all need something. But yeah, I mean, our mission here is to show life-changing love to the community, and I feel like that is just a testament to who I am and like my goals. My background is in cosmetology and social work. I just have a love for people that is God-given. I'm so grateful. And cursed sometimes, right? Because you know how it is, loving people.
Yes.
I am a daughter. I am a sister. I am an aspiring contractor. I'm a lot of things, but mostly just so fortunate to be here amongst amazing women. It's my first time speaking on a panel, and so I'm excited to have y'all witness us walking in our purpose, right?
Yes. Thank you, Sister Jessica. Sister Natasha.
All right, if my voice goes out at all, I was screaming yesterday at my son's soccer game, so you'll have to bear with me. So I'm a mom of 2, and a beautiful bonus baby. I'm a wife. I'm also a salon owner, like Miss Jessica here. I've been doing hair for like 17 years. And actually, when I met you was through this mentorship that really made me refocus and look at my life and see if I was doing everything I wanted to do. And I think we kind of reach those points at different places in our lives where we're like, is this really what I want to do for the rest of my life? And sometimes the answer is yes, and sometimes no, there's more to explore. So what I realized is that I love transformations. So external in the salon and internal has turned into so many different things. I wrote a book that did really well. It led to me doing 2 TED Talks, and I'm doing the 3rd in September. I've traveled all over the world speaking. I'm naturally super shy, but just being open and authentic and connecting with different people. I help other women write their books. It's turned into all this different stuff. But yeah, transformation, that's what I love. Internal and external transformations.
Y'all see how she always be just going over the fact that she a TEDx? Yeah. She does that every time.
Oh my! I'm like, girl,
I don't. Anyways, can we talk about that? And she made it to the website because everybody don't make it to the website. Okay.
Wait, let me give you just a 2 quick second thing. So first of all, I'm naturally super shy, so my face is hot right now. I feel like I'm about to break into a sweat. So that's why I run over that. But just looking at how God moves, so it was 10 of us who spoke. Everybody else's talk went up in the first like 3 to 5 days. Mine took 7 months to get approved. So I didn't think mine was going up at all. I cried, I complained, I had a whole pity party, like really did the absolute most. And then I just accepted God's will is going to be done. Ain't no point in getting worked up about it. Mine finally went up like a month and a half ago, and it's up to like 200,000 views. So it's been such a blessing how God moves. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
okay. Well, hello, everybody. Let me come up. My name is Deidre Curry. I am a professional shit talker. But I am here to hold space for the voiceless, help women redefine themselves, show up in every woman, own it, and talk their shit. And just a little caveat, what talking your shit is, it's the divine purpose that God has given you, and you're allowed to talk it in a way where you don't have to, like, I don't have to shrink myself around nobody, but I'm able to stand in my truth and empower other women to stand in their truth. So whatever, the thing that you can do with your eyes closed, the things that you will show up for, even if you never got paid for it, like, that's your shit. Like, really dive into that. So that's what I do. I help women uncover that and then help them run it up. Because the moment that you remember who you were created for, like, nobody is safe. And a lot of times we play it safe because we feel like maybe it's not my time, or I don't have the credentials, or the people who knew me, they are not going to be able to handle the version of who God created me to be. And I'm here to tell you to do the shit anyway. So that's me.
Sorry. I like that.
So I'm just thankful to be here, just to share space and just to run it up and tell my story and talk my shit. So that's just a little bit about me.
I'm Kai Kelly. I am here from Florida, and I'm a published author. I'm a mom of 3 beautiful children. My last one just graduated. And I also I published several journals. I'm publishing a few more. I also do work with detained youth. One of the things that's important to me is making sure that our youth realize that being institutionalized and being in the system is not the way to go. So I go and volunteer and speak to them and give them critical thinking skills as well as life skills on my own time, on my own dime, just to love on them and let them know that there are other options, and so that they don't end up as adults in the system. Those are some of the things that I'm passionate on top of crafting and art. I have a deep love and passion for art. So that's my thing. That's what I do. Yes, and I'm a motivational speaker. I go out and speak to people, and especially I love speaking to kids. So that's one of my things.
My name is Haja Camila Shuey, and I am a transformational life coach, and my main focus is on spiritual empowerment. And I'm dedicated to the preservation and documentation of our human experiences for spiritual transformation. And I utilize journals as a tool for that. I create guided journals in order for people to experience transformation in real time. I love being a part of sacred spaces. Every component of the women here on the panel, I do. I've been doing hair for over 20 years. I am dedicated to transformation. I went to Cal Arts Institute. I'm an artist. I paint, do music, and so forth. So anywhere where there's an opportunity for my vessel to be used in a way that shares the stories of the people I come in contact with, I surrender to that. And so in this season of my life, I am in this space where I want to encourage people to be the evidence of God being real, by showing up and talking your shit and being fully engaged in all parts of who you are and not feel like you have to shrink it. The fact that you're here is the gift, and there's nothing you have to do to prove that you were supposed to be here because you're here, right? So I love to see us shining. I love to see my people shining. I love to see vessels surrender to receiving and then being generous with the gift. And being in a space like this just fills my heart. And I'm sure we'll go into that even more. So I'm going to pause there. Because I'll be taking a minister break and be like, and one more thing. And one more thing.
Listen, I was nervous. I was like, am I going to put all of them on the panel? Because I know I could talk, but they can talk.
Yes.
But every time they talk, it's with purpose, it's with divine energy, and I'm just so grateful. So everybody clap it up again for our panelists. Okay, so now I want to get into it. Y'all know I got questions, but it don't even matter because we finna move with the spirit. I want to talk about that box, okay? And y'all probably like, what is the box, sis? Yeah. The box is this metaphorical box that society puts us in. When it comes to us embracing our purpose and stepping into our power, I want to know when y'all decided to step on the box. I want to know if you've ever had a challenge with the box and how have you shown up for yourself in that moment. And choose to answer whatever part of that question I just asked.
I am a former child, adult of a formerly incarcerated person. So for me, that box was very statistical in me going either down that same path. I'm also a child who was abandoned by her father. So for me, I'm not supposed to be sitting here as successful, however that looks and however you take that, as I am today. And I feel like it took me a long time to get here, a long time to accept that all of those things weren't my fault, even though I am a grown woman. There was a lot of healing of that little girl who was abandoned so long ago. So it took a lot of work to climb my way out of that box that society put me in when I was considered an abandoned child. Raised by my grandmother, very statistical, especially being raised in the 90s. In Southern California, the whole crack epidemic and, just drugs and money and incarceration, mass incarceration. I was a victim for so long that that's just the way that I was moving in my life as a victim. So I decided not long ago to take my power back because those things don't define me. And I climbed out that box by healing. I chose to heal my inner child and really heal those things that I never was able to speak about before. Because as you know, in the Black community, Black and brown community, mental health is that's not a conversation, at least for me. I can only speak for me, right? That wasn't a conversation in my household of a grandmother who was born in the 30s. Right. What goes on stays. What goes on in this house stays in this house. And you don't go outside talking about it, period. There's nothing wrong with you. Your mother left, so what? I'm here. And there was a lot of me, putting myself into this shell and just kind of not feeling. I have been in a space where I was so used to not feeling that I forgot how it even feels to, accept any love. I wasn't sure how it was supposed to feel, especially when we're talking about men, how that was supposed to look, because my hero abandoned me, right? I have 4 daughters right now, and my eldest daughter was really the motivation to me healing the relationship with my mother, mostly because I had a lot of resentment toward her. And my daughter was starting to mirror that hurt child within me, because there was a lot of things that she's seen that I didn't notice that put a strain on our relationship. So, it was going down that intergenerational statistical road, this, what I call pipeline perspective of, a generational curse that I just felt like, nah, not no more. We're about to break this, and I'm about to climb up out this box so that I can not only be the woman that I know I was destined to be, but the mother I was destined to be for these girls who are going to be growing up in this world that I want to be different. I want their world to look different, feel different for them. So that's pretty much, how I got out of my statistical box and by taking my power back.
I think for me, I think that there are seasons where the box gets bigger. Like it's never really I don't think it ever really goes away, because it can either serve as a reminder of where you once were, or it can also feel like a safe space, as you're working through the things, right? It's a matter of time that I think that for me, it had to get uncomfortable enough for me to choose not to stay there. And so for a long period of time, I adjusted myself to be like, okay, there's nothing outside of this. Let me adjust. I can make this work. Okay, put my leg up here. I'm going to make this work. Yeah. What am I going to, I don't know what's on the other side of this, right? And because I don't know what's on the other side of this, this must be all I have, right? And then there's a time when, so moments like these, it was the community surrounding me that had to show me that there was something outside of it. It wasn't something that I figured out on my own. I had to see that there was something, the possibilities were available to me. And so the resources, God sent resources of individuals that were like, girl, I've been there, done that. It's not going to get more comfortable. You have to choose to do something else. And the choosing to do something else, it meant that you had to leave, because you're not in that box by yourself. Let me say that. So this box, like if we going with the metaphor of the box, we're not you in there with your parents, you in there with your children, you in there with your ex, you're in there, right? And so while you're in there, you have to decide to leave them, because they have to believe that there's something better outside of that too, right? And they have to come to their own realization of what that is. So it's going to be lonely. It's going to feel uncomfortable. And you're going to have to be okay with trusting that there's a whole nother life outside of that. And you can go back and visit with boundaries, right? You can go back and say, I see you're not ready to leave this yet. See you're not ready to leave this financial state. I see you're not ready to leave this way of thinking. I see that you're not there, but I love you and I know that you're human, but I can't stay here with you because I know that there's something more I have to do, right? Absolutely. And so that part of humanizing the people that I came from is what really freed me from being held captive by this idea that the possibilities weren't there. And the more I opened my eyes to the possibilities of what life looks like outside of that, I had to be, like I said before, I had to be the evidence that they say, oh, well, if Camila is doing that, then maybe if I, step out, I can do that. But I can't carry you. You have to choose to do it. And so this healing process, everybody thinks healing's like one day you just wake up and it's just like, oh, I'm over it. It's all good. No, that John bloody. Like it's a real struggle, but it is a freedom in it. Just like you go to the gym to work out, when you start, it's like them weights is heavy, but over time it becomes easy. But baby, when it comes easy, it's like time to put some more weight on it. And that's where life happens. And so this healing journey for me, it's like, yeah, you're stronger, but there's some resistance that had to take place in order for you to become stronger. But I would never trade knowing for not knowing. Like, I like knowing. I like being able to see it and understand it. And I like the responsibility of loving those that don't see it yet. I just work harder because I want you with me.
Yes.
Yeah, and I should have warned y'all, Sister Camila will snatch your edges. But yes, I feel all of that, everything that y'all just shared. And it makes me think about one of the questions that actually came from the community around, can you have more than one purpose? And that's kind of where the box question was inspired, because I know for me, I've always felt like that box was around me. And I was in it at some point in time. But just the idea that I am a woman who does many things, and I don't feel right unless I'm doing many things. And then I've questioned myself. I'm like, okay, do I need a niche? Do I need to just go on this one lane? Do I need to? But it never works for me, because I am a person who flows in the fluidity of all of the divine happenings of who God brought me to be. So when I think about that box, and when I think about multiple purpose and time, I feel like our purpose is like an umbrella, and over time we evolve. And in each season, it's like these raindrops of different evolution with, right now, this season is more so focused on this, but in this season, I'm gonna focus on that. And then in this season, I'm gonna put those two together and make it, what you say, Sister Deidre, run it up, right? So I think that I want to hear from y'all as well, but that's what y'all kind of put on my heart, because society is always telling us to be this one thing, be superwoman. Have it all together. Don't cry in front of your kids. You got to be strong. You got to be single mother energy, right? When in actuality, we are all the things. And it's power in crying and releasing.
It really is.
It's power in being vulnerable. It's power in the healing process. And when you aren't afraid of it and you surrender, so much peace. Even with the challenge. And even in the storm, I'm still good.
I know.
You know?
Ain't that nice?
It's so beautiful, but it's still hard. But I just want to hear from some folks who haven't spoke yet. Like, what do y'all think about having more than one purpose in your life, Sister Deidre?
Let me tell y'all. So, in our mind, we have this set notion of who we're going to be, and we got it laid out. Maybe we wrote it down. We looking in our journal. We going back. We be like, okay, we're okay. Give me a year, I'll be here, and then I'll make all this type of money and do all these things. And God be like, girl, what the hell is you doing? Like, that's the way me and God. That's the way we communicate. Like, girl, what you doing? I just want to share with y'all, as far as like when it comes to purpose, I am living proof that everything that you were created to become will all flow effortlessly.
That's right.
There was, when I first started my journey, because I always believe women are powerful. I always created spaces for women to really show up, be themselves, and tell their story. And I started off in makeup. And I didn't want to change what you look like. I just wanted to enhance what you already had. And I wanted you to feel confident in that. And then he pushed me to TV. And I'm like, well, hold on. I said I wanted to do this hair makeup. And he pushed me to TV. And I'm like, I didn't want to do that. But then I didn't like standing on my feet all day. I'm just like, okay. I said I invested in the makeup stuff. I did all the things. And he like, no, I told you to come over here. And I got scared. So when I started to evolve, I'm like, hold on, this is getting bigger than me, because I'm not able to control, because I don't feel safe if I can't control it. Because when I gave when I put my hands in other people, when I put my future in other people's hands, they fumble me. Mm-hmm. And then now they have to circle back, but that's another conversation for another day. But I didn't feel safe unless I had control over it. And what I had to learn, what God was teaching me, is let me trust Him, because He don't play about me. He never took His hand off me. Like, there are times where I'm just like, okay, I know this has to be God, because I'm just coasting. Like, especially when I went through my divorce and I was going to work, I don't even know how I still had that job, because I was showing up. I'll do the work, but I was going home. But I was just existing for 7 months straight. I'm just showing up, taking my daughter to school, coming home, being mad as hell. I was, anytime, any opportunity or chance, I would tell everybody who would listen how mad as hell I was, how they had me fucked up, like anything. Right. And the purpose, what I went through, the purpose was just basically I needed that. Like, I wouldn't change it. Now, when you pray to God about this purpose and everything, you got to be specific about what it is. Mm-hmm. Because, baby, when I say He scratched me up and dragged me all out, I just told Him, if it ain't for me, remove me. I didn't tell Him, like, okay, ease me out. Like, He dragged my ass out of there, and I'm just like, okay, where am I? Like, and when you get off the course, God will have a way of reminding you to get back in place. I had shared with Sister Nine, everybody, of how I was getting too far off the course of my purpose, of being the vessel to ignite the women who I'm responsible for, to remind them of who they need to be. And I was far off the course, and then I'm dreaming about somebody asking me to be a babysitter, and I'm just like, babysitter? And I was going to do it because it was going to be steady income. All this is happening in a dream, and then somebody came into the dream. It was like, why are you not serving in your purpose? Because we're waiting on you. And all I could do is just start crying. And like, it was just so real. And a lot of times we may feel like the thing that we keep on being up late at night, or we keep on going back and forth, or we keep on trying to put it off because we didn't sign up for that. That ain't what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do this, and you trying to push me here. Those are the things that you need to lean into, and they can coexist. And you just have to do it. Like, I'm living proof. Like, if it's for you, my prayer now is, God, if, like, for my businesses, if it's not for me, remove it from me where I don't even miss it. Like, just put me in the midst of where I'm supposed to be, where I'm not even going to be worried about what I'm supposed to be doing or how that look like. Like, just cover me, and He will cover you. He will ignite you. He will send the people who you're supposed to be responsible for. All they doing is waiting for you to show up. The moment that you say, okay, I'm about to do it, then you got everybody on your calendar, they all booking you, like, well, shit, I could have been this. So, yes. Live your truth, y'all.
Yeah, I feel like God, your angels, your ancestors, your spirit guides will all show you what your purpose is. Your intuition will show you what your purpose is, but you have to be open enough to listen. And I think that we are growing and changing as we're moving through life and as we have different experiences. So sometimes that purpose is just expanded upon. Other times it kind of changes or it shifts. I think, kind of touching on both of those questions, for a long time I was too focused in terms of that box. I was too focused on other people's opinions and what happened in the past. Right? Just things I couldn't let go. So, okay, my mom didn't want me, so I'm stuck on that. So my first suicide attempt, I was 9. And it just continued with me not knowing how to deal with these emotions and not having trust yet that there was a plan for it and there was a purpose for it and I was going to be stronger because of it. So I was turning all that anger and hatred within. So it was addiction, it was homelessness, it was multiple suicide attempts. It was me and John George, right? If y'all from out here, y'all know where John George is. And I finally got to a point where I got tired of it. I'm like, I'm here for a reason. Yes, some things happen, but I got a sound mind. My body works, my hands work, my mouth works, my mind works. I can do something with what I have, right? And so the first purpose was hair in the salon, and that was great. And I felt like I put myself in that box because I went from being homeless, being addicted. I mean, I'm a size 12 now. I was like a 0, and I'm tall, so I look crazy. And so going from being that to being so proud, like I worked my way out, right? I have a shop, I got a house, I got this, I got that, I travel, I'm there with my kids, I'm not the mom I had. And then like, okay, I should just be happy with this. But it was like my spirit was like, no, I want to do something else. And with the other Natasha right here, we were in the conference together, and it was just this call. And I'm not going to take you through the whole story, but as I started to listen, I gave myself that freedom to explore what my new purpose could be. And I think it's important that we give ourselves that time and that space to do it. So the book, yes, going and traveling and speaking, running workshops, whatever it is. And I don't think I figured it all out yet. And so last thing I'll say, because I know everybody wants to talk, but really briefly, my third TED Talk, I don't know the title yet, but it's something around how multi-passionate leaders are redefining success. Because I think too many of us live too long in this box because we're scared of what other people will think. And the truth is, people gonna judge you anyway. Yes. So you might as well do something you like.
Yes.
Exactly.
I was just gonna say, I wanted to speak to two things that was said. So for me, my purpose has been about loss. So I've lost, the majority of my family is deceased. So I have a very small surviving family. And when you endure a lot of loss consecutively in a short span of time, what has happened for me is that all of those were like little sparks of what is actually valuable, what actually has worked, what actually is important, and how long time really is. Because we actually think that time is like, we have forever, we have forever to change our diet. We have forever to change our religion. We have forever, we think, oh, I'll do that when I'm 60. I'll do that when I'm 70. And what we end up learning is that time is really short. It really is short. And so for me, that my purpose was wrapped around losing so many valuable people. My grandmother, my mother, my brother, my father, my other brother, just like boom, 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 boom. And so when you have those losses, it's like, then you have to define what actually matters to you for the time that you have on the planet. And what are you going to do with it? So for me, I decided I want to die empty. Whatever's in me, I want it out. Before it's my time, before my number gets called, I want to know that I have exhausted my gifts. I have exhausted the ways that God has blessed me. And one thing that's consecutively been said is this relationship with trust. And so Black women in particular have a toxic relationship when it comes to trust. Trust of other people, trust of other women, trust of men, trust with money. Our relationship with things surrounding the need to trust is so convoluted and just very, very, complicated. And so one of the things that has allowed for the purpose to actually flow is to realize that trust isn't a relinquishing of control, right? I don't have to trust Camilla to not, I don't have to trust her. I have to trust Camilla to be Camilla. So that means I have to know myself well enough to know what I need. And then I have to see her for who she is and trust her to be exactly who she is. So now I'm not so preoccupied with the trust. I'm not so preoccupied with what the relationship is going to look like. If I do this thing and it doesn't work, that's okay. Because I can do this thing, and if that doesn't work, I can do another thing and another thing. So then there's not this fight or flight response when it comes to trying, so you can try with all your effort, and it doesn't mean that you're a failure. Like, it doesn't mean, oh, I failed, this is horrible. It means that wasn't your thing, or maybe that wasn't the time for that thing. So now you get to pick up something else. So my relationship, and I've gotten that from moving around. I've moved around a tremendous amount. I enjoy living other spaces. I don't have any problem with picking up my raggedy duffel bag and relocating. I don't have no ties. It doesn't cause me no harm or anxiety. And I think that one of the things that happens when you reposition your physical self, you get more expansive information to actually be able to dip into your purpose. So there are some things that I would have never known about myself if I didn't live in some of the different places that I went to. So I really encourage people to, at bare minimum, travel, but also to not be afraid to reinvent themselves in another space, in another zip code. It's not going to hurt you. I can tell you, I can promise you, your kids are not going to resent you. It doesn't work like that. And if it doesn't work, it's just like getting on the bus on the wrong side. You just cross the street and go right back, or you cross the street and you catch another bus someplace else. So that's my relationship with purpose and with trust. That's what
Thank you.
I want to give you a chance to speak, but before you speak, I want them to marinate, because I'm going to come to the audience for questions. But I didn't want to put y'all on the spot. So I'm going to let Sister Jessica talk, and then I want y'all to think about it, and then I'm going to ask y'all. And y'all got 5 seconds before it get awkward. And I got a question on the back already ready. So I'm just letting y'all know right now that it's almost y'all turn, okay? All right. Go ahead, Sister.
No pressure. There's so much that everyone said that really resonated with me, right? And I would start off by saying that this space would not be here had I not leaned into having multiple passions and multiple purposes, right? And it was very difficult for me because I am a people pleaser, right? And that hinders me in so many ways, but it also is funnily attached to my purpose, right? And so having to navigate that has been a journey, right? It's a long journey. But, I started as a hairstylist when I was 15 years old. And I decided I wanted to go into social work when I was 17 years old. And I always used to be stressed out because I was tired trying to pursue both of them. And I was like, it was always, oh, Jessica is stretched a mile long and an inch thin. And I'm trying to figure out why God would pull me in such separate directions is how I felt, right? And how people spoke into my life. Jessica with the good ideas, Jessica who want to be over here and over there, right? And there were things that I allowed into my spirit without also validating my own thoughts. And I think that is my biggest thing is I love being considerate. I want to hear everybody out. And I think that is valuable for all of us because our balance, sometimes we way off, right? We got some people who hold on to their thoughts and don't receive what other people have to say. And then we got people who only listen to other people. And when we find that balance to say, thank you for your input, but this is how I feel. This is what I know. This is what God put into my heart. When we're sensitive enough to say, God, I don't like this. You want me to do what? You know? All right, let me try, right? I love what you said. Let me try. I don't think that we try enough on ourselves. Genuinely, just based off of what I want. What if I just like roller skating right? That's me personally, I think, how can I sustain a lifestyle skating every day? I've been blessed to have that frame of mind, right? And if I can go back to the question about the box, right? For a long time, my box was this freedom that was spoken over me, right? These gifts and this talent. A lot of times our box is the stereotypes. But my box has always been my thought that I had to be above this stereotype and that I truly believed that I was, right? Like, and I was out here just living up here and I didn't care how nobody felt about being down here. But what I realized is I was living up here because I thought I had to show the world. I thought it was my job to be this extraordinary Black woman just achieving and just loving and being kind and doing all these things. And I never just asked myself what I wanted to do and how I wanted to feel. And not do you want to be my friend, but do I want to be yours? Right? Like that was... And all of that has to go into our purpose. We got to ask ourselves these questions every day when we're tired, when we're hungry, when we need a break. I think about that. There's so much inside of us that we just need to shut up, get away from people sometimes, get quiet and listen and then try. And then if that don't work, then we're going to go over here. But every single thing needs to be based off of something that is feeding you and feeding other people. Yes. When we have both of those components, it don't matter what you're doing. Honey, we could be making little plants like this. If that's what you're going to do, honey, maybe that's somebody's purpose because I like them. I want one on every table. So, you know, that's my thing is if you're waiting on somebody else to approve you.
Yeah. Keep on waiting.
Oh, baby, it's going to be a rough road.
Yes. Something that came up for me before I put it on the audience, I'm giving y'all a little bit more time. Somebody told me one day when we was having coffee, because I'm a visionary, and if you know me, you know I got all the ideas in the world, so I can definitely connect with Jessica. I know Sasha know. And sometimes I'll be over here, over there, and it's too much, y'all. I gotta sit down. I gotta get reeled back, for real, from all areas of my life. And somebody told me one day, they were like, sometimes the visions that you get aren't always for you. And I feel
right. Hold on to that. just
let it sit.
Yeah.
Marinate. Let it marinate.
Yeah.
Because it was big for me. And I feel like it was big for me because I know I've experienced that there are people in this world who do not have vision. And it's not a negative thing. It's just everybody is supposed to be who they're supposed to be. Right. Like you said, Sister Kai, right? And there's people out here who do not have the vision like you do. And then you get an idea and you like, God, this is so random. But it's not. You need to share it with somebody else so they can take it and run it up.
Come on.
Right?
Come on.
So I think we also have to remember that because sometimes that box can block us from being a blessing to somebody else. I remember Bishop Del Bronner saying it as my YouTube pastor. He said that our gifts are not always for ourselves. And we think, oh, I feel so good when I'm on stage speaking. I feel so good when I'm making jewelry. But I bet you the person wearing it right now feels even better. Right? I bet you the person rubbing that shea butter you just concocted in your kitchen sink feel better. Right? And I think it's important for us to remember that everybody has a role. Everybody has a purpose. Everybody is special. Even the garbage man. If the garbage man wasn't coming every Monday, what we living in? Trash. A landfill, right? And it's some garbage men out here who are happy with their life. And that's who they're supposed to be. And I'm starting to realize that just because there are people who are different or seen in a higher light, that doesn't take it away from who you are. And if you just like to be at work every day from your 9 to 5 and use your money to travel, that don't make you different because you don't want to be no entrepreneur, because being an entrepreneur is stressful, right? And everybody has their thing. And I'm going to leave it right there because I feel like I said enough. And now it's y'all turn. So, does anybody have a question? And remember, y'all got 5 seconds.
Volunteer or voluntold?
So recently, I've been thinking a lot about, somebody mentioned generational curses, but also, you know, when you read scripture, you realize that like every tribe had like a characteristic, a purpose. And in scripture, it'll say like, pick up something about like the burden you're supposed to carry. And it's not necessarily the burden, but just the task that you're supposed to carry. And so I'm wondering if y'all have thought about because like trauma comes through the blood, but also passion, also purpose, also gifts, also talents, like those travel generationally as well. And so I'm wondering if anybody has thought about, and it's especially difficult when our family is all scattered, and you feel me, we losing mamas and we losing daddies, and it's hard to trace our genetics and like look at the characteristics of our people because you feel me, it's hard to find them, you know what I mean? But sometimes when I look at my mom or I look at my granny and I'll think, what is their burden that they're carrying? And I'll kind of look at how they're kind of in solitude, or how they have a distrust of people, and how they have difficulty connecting with people, and then how they like homebodies. And then I'll be able to like look at myself and be like, well, damn. You know what I mean? And it then makes it easier for me to break it, because I know it's not just me. I know it's coming, you feel me? It's a chain link that's traveling through my DNA, and I have the ability to break it for my children in the future.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if y'all have thought about the impact of just like how your purpose, or if y'all seen it in y'all family, if you felt it from your family, or like if you've seen maybe something in your family that was the complete opposite that made you want to be who you are to offset what you saw.
Listen, I know everybody is tickling right now because I know. But I'm gonna hop in first. Okay, so I just wanted to say, like, Sasha and I have been doing a lot of work together, and this is kind of like something we've been saying a lot. But something that makes me think about is there are different people in our generations and in our bloodlines who are curse breakers. And that's not everybody, because some people are fine with doing what they're doing. We just talked about everybody having their own purpose and their own role. A curse breaker is powerful. A curse breaker commits to healing, not only themselves, but generations after. A curse breaker says, I know that my mother has abusive values. I know that my mother yells and screams, and it could get to verbal abuse and emotional abuse. And I know that I have a daughter, right? And I know that those abusive values also live within me because they're deeply rooted in how I was raised. And I know that I do not want to pass that on to my daughter. So I have to check myself every time and be conscious and be aware that I don't want to pass this down, right? But something else you said that was beautiful that we don't talk about enough. We talk about generational trauma all the time, but we don't talk about all of the power and joy that we pass down. Can we go there? Right? That's the part. Because
that's what I was waiting for.
And I know you're going to go there because you always touching on the ancestors and everybody who has came before us, right? To give us this light, to give us this power, this radiance. You are a performer, right? You do melodies, poetry, like that's in us. It ain't on us, right? It's innate in our being. And when we start to remember who we are, when we start to really get deeply rooted and deeply connected to our intuition and to our purpose, we start to see that it was something that was always there. And all we had to do was activate it. I don't believe healing is fixing. I believe healing is unlearning and releasing releasing all of the things that society told us and we internalized, right? But then we decided to say, nah, that's not me. Let me just take that off. I don't want that anymore. I'm not that label. I am beautiful. I'm not ugly. I'm not whatever anybody told me. And every time I do that, I activate another level inside of me. Right? I unlock another level. And I take it to the next level. And now it goes into that purpose. When you see your purpose evolve, it's because you getting into that becoming energy. And you start becoming that person you were always destined to be. It's not somebody that you have to change into.
Right.
It's somebody that you're like, you know how a flower blooms, right? You start off like this, and then sometimes healing is like this, right? And then all of a sudden it's like this, and then you back to like this. But it's a journey. So overall, I'm gonna let my other sisters talk because they about to hit y'all heads too. But I just think that curse breakers are special. And I do believe you can have more than one in the family lineage.
Definitely.
I want to chime in real quick. I've been trying to keep mine short because I'm really enjoying hearing everything that y'all got to say. So I could talk, but I'm trying to really keep it. A couple things. One, I think that a wise person has to learn from other people, right? It's just too many lessons to learn them all yourself. And so I tried to learn from the things I didn't want to be, the mom I didn't want to be, but also from my grandmother who I did want to be like, you know? And so there was always that good and that bad. I never looked at like all the negative. It's like even my mom in and out of my life, there were good parts of our relationship, you know, and a couple things here and there that I wouldn't mind recreating with my daughter, but I definitely felt like I had those kind of negative situations where it's like, okay, I want to make sure I'm breaking this now. Like my mom had a tough relationship with her dad. I'm not having that with my kids. I'm about to be their best friend, period. And if you know me and you see me online with my kids, like we turn up, we have fun, we travel all around the world. My kids got all the stamps on their passports. Like those are my best friends and we're going to have fun. But it's interesting when you say like those generational things. I didn't even know until I was older. One of my grandfathers, he did too much to say it all now, but like he was a lawyer who helped prosecute Nazis during the Nuremberg trials. He owned like multiple businesses. He lived with a Native American tribe. He spoke 7 to 10 languages. Now, I didn't know this because it was a toxic relationship between him and my father. So I met him a few times, but it's interesting how some of those good things get passed down too, right? Like whether or not we know it, you come from a lineage of survivors. Like no matter what, whatever race you are, whatever they came from, people survived and they fought and they tried and they loved and they cried and they did the best that they could do with what they had at the time.
Pause right there. Hold on to that.
She's like,
yes.
That moment right there.
Yes.
But even with, the last thing I'll say before I let somebody else go, but even with my mom, which was my most difficult relationship, I got peace when I realized she did the best she could do at the time. And at the time, it wasn't raising me, and that's okay. You know, my dad stepped in, and that's fine. And so when I give people that grace to be human and look at their beautiful parts and then their human parts and then accept those beautiful and those human parts of myself, my journey just feels a lot easier.
Don't just skim over that, because that right there, that there's two things in there that are so important to our healing journey and our functionality and our purpose. And the first of those things is that they did the best they could with what they had at the time. You do what you can when you know what you're doing. And so that's the first part of that. The second part of that is the grace that has to be given for humanity, for the humanness of a person, right? Because it's your mom, but she's still a woman.
Talk to me.
So I'm a human being that's a woman, and I got pregnant and I had a child that did not give me the wealth of information to be a mother. It didn't qualify me immediately to be a mother. So for you as a daughter to be able to say she did the best she could at the time, lets her be able to be a woman first. Then she gets to show up as your mom. And she maybe didn't get a chance to show up as your mom because she didn't have the information. And a lot of us don't have the information and can't even look for the information because we're just trying to survive.
That's the part.
We're just trying to live.
That's the part.
So we can't get to, let me heal to talk nicely to my child. Let me heal so I can put good shoes on her feet. I'm just trying to keep a roof. I'm just trying to not to lose the 4 marbles in my head that are competing for attention. I know it's somebody crying that needs my attention, but I don't have it. I barely got what I have for myself. But you being able as the child to be able to give that grace, we need so much more of that. And we don't have enough of that in our community. We have a lot of hand popping, blaming, victimizing, anger, resentment, and not enough grace.
I want to speak to that. To that anger and resentment and humanizing. As I was going through my healing journey, it happened. It wasn't one of those things where I woke up and was like, you know what, I think I'm going to heal this relationship with my mother. It was something that happened. And the thing that happened for me was a physical fight between myself and my eldest daughter, which blindsided me in a way and hurt me in a way way more than the abandonment of my parents, way more than any negative talk or emotional, verbal, physical abuse that I may have endured. It was almost like this uninvited wake up for myself, right? So when I seen that and I seen her eyes and she told me, you know, you don't respect, they call my mom honey, you don't respect honey, you know, and my daughter's not knowing my story very much, and regardless to what my story is, I had to own that.
Yep.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you're right. Because regardless to what has happened, these babies love her as who she is to them right now. They don't know who she was with me at that time. So I buckled down. It was a very hard time for me. And I called my mother. And I apologized to her for any pain that I've caused her. Okay, so I took the victim hat off completely. And we decided to heal together. For the first time in my entire life, my mother agreed to do therapy, which I suggested therapy to my mother once, and she literally hopped out the car. Like, what? No, I'm not doing this. But she agreed to do this, and in doing so, you know, we had these deep conversations where I was able to ask her questions that I've never asked before.
Right.
And in asking those questions, it was almost like a light bulb just kind of came on, and all of this film that's playing back in my mind of my life just started connecting dots, right? And it's like, okay, now I understand, because now I'm humanizing you and I'm listening to you and I'm not just mad at you. I can hear you, right? And I can see why the relationship with you and my grandmother was the way that it was, right? Because my grandmother was everything to me the same way she's everything to my kids, right? Because we experience different people, right? So, you know, everything in my life wasn't all bad. You know, speaking to the passing down of not only generational curses, but generational blessings and talents. You know, there's so much there, even though I don't have a relationship with my father and he chose the road that he chose once I was born. I mean, I know that a lot of my talents, a lot of my musical, my artsy, my all these different things, his uncle's Don Cornelius, you know what I mean? So I know who my people are. On my mother's side, there's a lot of different artists, a lot of different people. You know, I know who they are. My grandmother, I watched my grandmother cook full meals for her community, which would make me so confused when I was younger. I'm like, dude, why are you feeding these unhoused people? Like, they need to find their families. But I was a kid not understanding, you know, so she gave me the, you know, the desire to serve others, you know, and there's so many pieces of me that are great because of them, and then there's pieces of me that I didn't understand, that I did need to heal because I didn't know where, you know, a lot of the mistrust that we're talking about, and a lot of the anger and the resentment and all these different feelings of being abandoned and all this different stuff was. So I had to learn how to put more good and more positivity into my pot, because I was spiraling in a way where it was affecting my daughter. I told you guys I have 4. My oldest daughter's 19. She'll be 20 in September.
Don't she look good, Joe?
Yes.
Sorry, just had to say it real quick.
But I never realized that I was being emotionally unavailable to her, because I didn't know how to be. I had her when I was 19. I didn't know how to be emotionally available for even myself. So like you said earlier, Sister Kai, you have to humanize these people. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's so important. And when I was able to humanize my mother, I look at her completely different now at this point. I take ownership for any negativity or anything that I give to her, and I give her the utmost respect for just birthing me
Yes.
at this point, you know what I mean, in my life. So, you know, when you talk about generational curses, which a lot of time, I don't like to use the word curse, I like to use the word setback. Because when you use a word like curse and you put it with something like generation, it continues, you know. And I just want to thank Sister Naya for, you know, because like she said earlier, we've done a lot of work together. She's been a big part of even my healing journey. I met her for her mentorship program. I applied, right? And we became, you know, great friends and business partners and all the things. But she was exactly who I needed at that moment. I'm from Southern California. I'm not from Northern California. So the moving to different area codes and reinventing yourself, I have thrived in a way that I wasn't able to thrive when I was home. You know, I'm going to speak to, and then I'm going to pass it to the having more than one curse breaker in your family. I have a cousin, a beautiful cousin, that's 9 years younger than me, that grew up with me in the same circumstances. She had her parents, but I mean environmental circumstances as me. A lot of men in my family don't believe that women are good for anything more than having children and cooking, you know, doing the stereotypical things. And she got pregnant at a young age. She had her son at 14, but this girl got a master's degree. She moved herself, her son, and her husband. They moved to Vegas, and she's doing an amazing job in providing for her son in the ways that she wasn't provided for. Not to say that she wasn't financially provided for, but she's showing that young man so many different things in his life that boy is thriving in ways that we couldn't even imagine growing up where we come from. So all of you women are so inspiring to me. This is my first time meeting a lot of you today, a lot of you in person. I've had conversations with Sister Kai. We've done the SistaaHood on IG Live, and Jessica. And I do believe that everybody has purpose, more than one purpose. And I'm just sitting here, I'm listening to everybody, and I just feel humble, and I feel very grateful to even be sitting on this couch and given this opportunity to pour into all of you.
Yeah. Can I take a moment? You know, I'm looking at you, right? So I want to give you, do you feel safe to share right now? Because I don't want what you're feeling right now to go unnoticed. Do you feel safe to share, or do you need a moment? It's okay. Somebody hold her hand, please. Yeah.
I've been working on generational healing, and I've been reading books, and I've been battling in my mind because I come from an abusive household. I was that parent in and out of jail. I was that woman who came from extensive levels of trauma in my life. And growing up, it was safer for me to stay in that trauma because I was familiar with it. I knew how to navigate and what to expect and knew how to react. And when feeling like I wasn't good enough to have good things happen, or I wasn't feeling like I deserved to be uplifted, or not even knowing who I am, because I am a Black woman and I am a Latin woman, and not knowing where I belong, because one culture I wasn't dark enough for them and I wasn't light enough for them. So who do I belong to? Who do I turn to? And not having a mother of my own, because my mother was stuck in her demons, battling her warfare. I was left to my own devices. And so putting up those walls and not trusting nobody, not even myself. And being a mother of 4, where I've abandoned my children because I was battling my own demons, not because I didn't want them, but because I didn't know how. And so Earlier today, I was sitting in the tub and I was reading this book, and it's called Four Altars, and I'm learning about generational curses and how your mind works and your mind framing, your thinking, and your heart. And I was like, how am I expecting to break the chains and help heal my children when I'm not even willing to heal my relationship with my own mother? You know, and then I have this lie, this thing in my head where I stay stuck on people's past actions, because I don't care what nobody says to me. I'm gonna watch how you move, and I'm gonna watch how you are with me, because I've been told shit all my life. Yeah. You could talk to me till you're blue in the face. I want to see what you're about. And so what I've seen from my mom is that our relationship is so toxic that it drains me mentally and spiritually, to where I want to go out and use something to fill that void. And what I choose to use is not good for me or my soul. You know, and so as I was sitting here listening to you guys, women speak, all I was hearing is, be still and know that I am God. You know, and there's a verse in the Bible that always stuck with me through my childhood, every time I was in and out of jail. Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace and be healed of your affliction. And so I don't have a question. I just want to thank you, ladies, because everything that you're saying, it's speaking to my spirit.
Yes. Listen. Listen.
I know.
Like, we're experiencing the victory in real time. Come on. Like, in this very moment, right? Because the thing you run from, it's going to catch you at some point.
Oh, yeah.
You're running from trying to be like who, you know, the brother, the mother, the father, the uncle, the whomever else, right? But the source in which we come from, God is running through our veins. Right? So it's like, God knows the story, but in order for you to understand what your mother went through, you have to go through what your mother went through.
Absolutely. In some way.
Do you see what I'm saying? So the people we running from and having these tussles with, it's like, until you recognize, like, yeah, this is the body that houses the soul that belongs to the creator that created you, right? So we see these bodies, it's like that bottle of water, right? Like the bottle of water, that's not the water. That's the container that is holding, right? So you're the container that's holding from the source of what created all of us has in there. So it's like, okay, in order for her to understand how to fix this thing, I got to put her through the fire of it. Or she's not going to appreciate it. She's not going to know clean until she get dirty. She's not going to know joy until she knows depression and sadness, right? She's not going to know what it is to be the mother until she experiences what her mother went through. So even with our parents, when she mentions about humanizing our parents, it's like, the mercy was the fact that you were born in order to set right what they couldn't set right. So you're her blessing. Like, you're an answer to her prayer. She's an answer to someone else's prayer. They're an answer to some, and it don't matter how wild this earthly experience that happens, because trauma is only our reaction to the habits that we learned. Like, the trauma happens because we're reacting to it. So it's like, when you do something that triggers me, it makes me mad. I'm breaking stuff. I'm slapping you on the head. I'm doing this. I'm taking drugs. I'm drinking alcohol. I'm, finding the wrong people to have sex with, whatever. Like, the trauma is our response to a habit. Right? So in what you're doing right now, like, I want you to really tap into the joy of this experience, because you didn't bring yourself here. Your people did. The prayer that's riding on your DNA strand is what brought you into this room right now, to where they're like, oh my God, she's ready to let us have our spirit free in this environment, because you're the container that could hold all of it. You've been asking for it. You've been asking for the answer. You've been trying to figure out, how do I connect with my children? And you just said the answer. You got to find a way to forgive the portal that brought you here. Say thank you. Look, I know all of the stuff that has taken place wasn't the best. It wasn't cool, and I can't make you turn into the thing that I want. We can't make anybody do what it is that we want. We can only do what we want, right? I had the hardest conversation with my son I mean, it was hard. It was hard because my feelings was like, I did everything. I sacrificed all the things. I worked 3 jobs. You had more than your friends that had a mama and a daddy in the house. I mean, I was a beast as far as how I responded to not really hearing him in the moment, to where I had to sit myself down and say, oh, okay, I understand that I am looking to you to validate that I did the right thing.
Yes.
So when you achieve something, it's like, because I'm a good mom, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't belong to me. He don't belong to me. He's not mine. If he chose to hitchhike and paint subways for the rest of his life, if he's happy, job well done. What everybody else says about, did you hear about Camila's son? He's doing this. That's not my business, and it ain't theirs. I don't care how you respond to it. Is my child living a life of joy?
Yes.
Is he being responsible with his life? Is he being a good, energetic experience for other people that he comes in contact with? Then that's all I can do. I can't say I want your life to be framed like this because I'm afraid of how black men are viewed in America, right? That's passing on the trauma. Now I'm telling him, you got to behave like this because, or you'll get shot by the police, or I can't have you behave like. It's like I did all the right things and he still got wrongly pulled over by the police. So if anything, yes, we equip them with the things that are necessary, but I took responsibility for the fact that you don't belong to me, right?
Yeah.
And I had to recognize that, look, I have to still live my own life. Whatever I have access to, you have access to it, right?
Yeah.
And whatever you come up with as a result of that, I'm going to take accountability for it. Look, my G, I didn't know that. This is the part I didn't know, and this is all I have to give you at this point. But I'm going to give you the best parts of me in it. So, yeah, thank you for sharing. Thank you.
I also want to highlight that this is your season now. Even with you being open to receive, because just like you said, like nobody once they cross the line, like you keep score. Like nobody is safe, but you even being open for those thoughts that you don't even speak out. The thoughts that you may lay in your bed and like, I want to change, but these motherfuckers ain't about to get over on me. Like those type of things. Like you just being open to receive and then come into the space to allow yourself to immerse. Like you're not here by accident. You're not hearing the stories. You're not hearing from either one of us by accident. Like you were supposed to be here at this right particular moment. So even if you was the only one here, baby, you still getting everything that you came here for to get.
That's right.
So like lean into that and then just work on, Lord, how can I show up for me so everybody else can be the overflow of who's connected to me. So don't focus on if you're not ready to heal that relationship, focus on keeping your cup full so when you're triggered, when something comes up or when it's not time to actually heal it, because God gonna have to deal with that. But you'll be able to experience the overflow where you won't be worked up so you're not pouring from an empty vessel. So just stand in that.
I wanted to offer something to that, to the triggering part, right? So one thing that I learned I had to go through, because I kept hurting myself because of that exact experience, right? And one of the things that set me free was that I was like, every time I do this to myself, he doesn't get a consequence at all. So he living his best life, right? He don't even know I'm over here struggling, right? I'm fighting for my life, but he's okay. So
Sleeping good at night.
That might be your life, though.
I know that.
So I said, I thought about it, and I was like, I gotta figure out a way that whatever action he takes or not takes, and in this case I'm talking about my biological father, whatever action he takes or doesn't take, it doesn't move me in such a way. I can't be moved by his inaction or action to the point that I'm willing to hurt myself. So for you, I offer to you that when you think about that, I know that how frustrating those types of dynamics can be. But think about the fact that you have this one and 3 more, right? That are actually depending and looking to you, and they are rooting for you, right? So you have to hold you for them. Because that over there doesn't even matter. It's not going to impact her one way or the other, right? But it will impact the ones that care about you, that you have brought onto the planet, right? If something happens to you because you're in that much pain over that, right? So that was the way I was able. I was like, you know what? I can't keep on putting myself in this position over somebody that doesn't care.
Right.
I can't keep doing it to myself. So I had to change my behavior, and I just leaned into, I'm going to do as many positive things as I can possibly do that's going to aggravate his nerves. Right? And so now that's it. I'm just the light.
Yes.
And there's nothing, and the light is blinding, and there's nothing that can get past me because I'm just the light.
Yes.
And that's how I feel like the best way you can conquer that energy is by just being the light for yourself and for your baby.
Yes.
Okay.
I want to add to that.
Go ahead.
I think everybody has some type of relationship where they can relate, right? I think for myself, I hear a lot of people talking about some of the issues that we have with our moms, right? And I feel like sometimes I feel like, well, dang, mine is a little tricky because my mom is amazing, right? But she's mentally ill. So it's like, how do I hold you accountable? Where now does this guilt fall, right? I can't hold you to a standard that I feel like I should be able to. And so for a long time, then it meant that I didn't validate my feelings. And I think a lot of the time when we humanize, we think that we have to now not humanize or validate what we feel.
That's right.
And I think that when we have that balance on one hand, right, we have to find that balance where you hurt me. You did your best and it was not good enough. Right? But I forgive you for that, right?
Yes.
To be able to have all of that, we have to be able to validate all of it. Because it all is true to me, right? It's true to you. You feel that. We cannot pretend like that's not real just because somebody else is human. You are human and you did your best, and baby, it told me up. It's man.
I know that's right.
But when I thought sometimes we get scared to lean into that, right? Because then we're scared that I'm gonna have to knock her upside her head. I might get mad, right? I'm like, but really, sometimes it heals us. We lean into that, and it will heal me. So that now I might actually laugh about it. I might, because I'm not running from it. I'm not afraid of it. I believe this and it's true to me. And I can see my tears. I can see that value. I can see that hurt. And I can say, and it was wrong. And I deserved better. I did. I didn't do nothing to deserve that. Right? And then we can go forward. The thing is we get stuck in these spaces, right? And that is on one end, right? We got to really learn how to validate ourselves in it as well. On the other hand, these triggers I'm learning for myself. I get too busy. Us people who got so much going on. I'm not even a mother. I don't know how y'all do it. Because I be stressed out. I be tired. And I know that when my reserve is too low, none of your skills matter. It don't matter what you learned and how you healed. If you are on empty, you gonna find the quickest fix because we have to keep going. A lot of times we don't have the privilege to, okay, well, I need a day to myself. The job ain't gonna wait. I don't get no PTO, right? As an entrepreneur, I don't have that. So I have to daily, every single day, make sure that I'm giving myself something. If that means it's a 5-minute walk, if that for me is little things, making my bed in the morning, make me feel like I'm a good person, I'm getting my life together, right? Little things, because it might be 7 o'clock and I have to have a tough conversation. But I can look at that bed that I made and I feel better about myself versus, dang, I'm just tired. Let me get a glass of wine. Let me call this number. I don't have nothing else, so I need to feel myself. And a lot of times when it's that quick and you ain't planned ahead, you're feeling yourself with something that's not, it's fast food, right? Spiritual fast food, mental fast food, whatever it is. And if we want to love on ourselves and be intentional, we got to plan ahead. We cannot be running ourselves ragged and then feel bad about it, right? Because then now I'm gonna be sad. I'm gonna feel guilty. I'm gonna be ashamed. I'm gonna be whatever it is. And all I had to do was take a 5-minute walk. Right? All I had to do was something. And so it takes time for us to look at ourselves, say, what do I need today? If it's a smoothie, if it's something little, we don't know what is going to change, baby. So yes, that is my little tidbit.
Thank you.
Yeah, let me get in on this pour.
For the
Something I always say, something we always say is healing is a journey. It's not a destination, right? And I feel like sometimes in the world we say healed, but I don't believe in being healed. I believe that I'm always a work in progress.
Always. Yes.
And I also believe that we have certain wounds that turn into scars. And it's reminders of what we've been through to remember so we don't forget, but to also know I did that, right? I encourage you to celebrate yourself in this moment right now.
Yes.
Because you just acknowledge where you were. We don't celebrate acknowledgement enough. It's people living in limbo.
Right.
And don't even know it.
Right.
I was living in limbo, numbing myself to not feel certain emotions that didn't make me feel good. And I didn't know. Until I had a wake-up call, until I had to hit rock bottom, until I had to go through the mud to see that I was dirty. Right? So I also want you to celebrate yourself because you were honest.
Yes.
What'd you say? We got a hard you said a toxic relationship with trust. You know how many people out here lying to themselves in this moment?
Right.
Ooh, I look good in this. I'm just playing. But I just had to get a little laugh in. We out here lying to ourselves. Telling ourselves we okay when we not. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to not have it together.
Yes.
It's okay to say, I fucked up. I messed up. And I'm getting myself together. I'm reading a book, right? I'm taking steps to acknowledge, right? And I love what everybody said about compassion, because that's what was shared. Having compassion for folks, because our flesh is our flesh, and our spirit is our spirit. And sometimes we're not able to operate in spirit because flesh starts to take over. And when you find that balance and that duality, you start to understand that I understand my flesh is here because it is my vehicle of this thing we call life. But I also...
I'm just having a little Holy Ghost moment. Go ahead. Keep going. That's
But I also understand that there are moments where I can operate in my spirit and let my spirit drive. And I know that sometimes my flesh gonna be at the wheel, and I might do some things I wasn't supposed to do.
have your way.
For a moment. And then I'm gonna bring it back and be like, "Right, God, I apologize. I wasn't in my right mind." Ish.
You were not bringing your spirit.
I wasn't in my spiritual self.
you gotta know what it is.
But the fact that you can name it is something so powerful.
It is.
Every step of our journey, we got to celebrate.
Can we give her a round of applause?
Y'all, we've been talking a lot. I feel like we all have learned something today. But I'm going to just say me, because I don't know y'all life. I've learned something today myself. And we have a wonderful performer here today. And I'm trying to be mindful of time because I want to give a short intermission before Marjay performs. And before we do that, I'm giving y'all a time limit, okay? Y'all be talking. So y'all got 30 seconds. Yeah. Y'all got too much to say. I wish I had a timer.
Wampus, like,
You gonna Grammys us?
Listen, y'all all connected to the divine source. So God got y'all moving, but I'm gonna say, hold on, God. Okay, so I want y'all to share one gem. Y'all know that's how I end. Yeah. Share one thing you would like to say to your younger self, or something to somebody in this space right now.
That feeling, that intuitive voice, those good ideas, the thing that is calling you to be better and want more, it is true. Listen to it more. Hold space for it. That's it.
Okay. Define the lie. Once you define the lie, you unpack your power.
What's on me? Mine would be you're able to evolve beyond who you think you are, who you're destined to become. You're allowed to evolve beyond it. So show up and seize it.
I guess mine is twofold. Trust your intuition, but also when you're getting ready to do something new, if it scares you, just know you're on the right path. Because it's so long, so many times that we play it small, so many times we're just not stepping into who we can be. And when you first listen to your voice and then just say, fuck it, I'm about to go full force, you'll be amazed at where your life ends up.
I'm going to say that clarity really comes when we get intentional about everything around us, what we're listening to, who we're, what's on the TV, what's in our music. When we quiet all of that down, I think a lot of the questions that we're wondering will just start coming to us. But we need to create space for ourselves.
Come on, Sister Jessica, with that word.
I'm gonna take my time to speak to Ms. Angelica's mom, and I'm gonna just say forgiveness is freedom. Forgive your mother, forgive yourself, so that you can set yourself free from all of those things and be the beautiful woman that you've been destined to be for yourself and for your beautiful children.
What I'm gonna say to y'all? I don't got 30 seconds. I'm just kidding. Okay. If you want to push a mountain tomorrow, you must first pick up stones today. It's an African proverb. That wasn't just me, y'all. I know I be spitting bars.
We knew.
Don't do that. Because that comes with the words.
My first time coming across it.
It was me. Okay. So I just want to say that sometimes healing, sometimes our dreams, sometimes love, whatever it is, sometimes it feels unattainable and it looks like a big mountain. But I encourage you to take steps and pick up a stone of love. Yes. Pick up a stone of your dream. Pick up a stone of healing, which means take baby steps. And don't always try to do everything at once.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I try, and it doesn't work. Because it takes time to build something beautiful and sustainable.
Yes, ma'am.
Quickness doesn't build anything but a fast fall, right? But if you take your time with it, ain't that a song? It just becomes something so much more beautiful and meaningful and full of purpose. We're going to get into Marjay's beautiful performance. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Thank you, y'all.
Wow. It feels kind of crazy going into some music when I just been feeling the feelings and listening and, I was enjoying being an audience member. I was enjoying being a sister on the couch. And, I got to let the spirit do what the spirit got to do. And I got a couple pieces. The first one I feel like actually fits the way that I feel right now, perfectly. The second one, Miss Nyabingha McDowell requested a specific song, and it's gonna get us where we need to be. It's gonna raise our vibration. So I'm not mad at it. It just feels kind of crazy that I need to take it there right now. What a blessing, y'all. What's wild is everything that came around in the conversation, I've thought of it today, or I've been thinking about it recently. It's like everything, when you moving in spirit, you feel what I'm saying? Like when you are where you're supposed to be, it's revealed to you. And I actually wrote something that says that exact thing. I wrote it in my Lyft ride over here, which is crazy because when I read this, after I do this first song, y'all gonna be like, well, dang, that's everything we talked about. And that's just the way the Most High been doing, because I've been working on my obedience.
Yeah, come on.
And so when I'm putting myself where I'm supposed to be, he shows me. And one of the prayers I've been praying, I feel like it's similar to what you said your prayer was, like to remove you out of any situations you ain't need to be in. I've been asking that whatever doors I'm supposed to walk through, shine a light on them joints. You know what I mean? Set a path of roses so I know which door I'm supposed to walk through. And the ones that I ain't supposed to go through, nail them shut. You know what I mean? Paint them black. I can't even see that door. Because we be trying to go everywhere we don't need to be.
Come on.
Yeah. And so, I guess I could just do this first song. Oh, so like this first song, right? Well, like, I had this idea of something I would talk to y'all about, because it's kind of like a funny situation. Because, you know, when you find yourself up here, sometimes people need to be reminded, especially when you're dealing with sisters. We need to be reminded that we ain't thinking we more than you is. I'm not thinking I'm no better than nobody over there, nobody over here, nobody over there, just because, you feel me, I done put on my jewelry pieces, and you feel me, I done wrap my head up a little bit, and I got my mic, you know what I mean? Like, just because I'm up here doesn't mean that I'm less than human, doesn't mean that I don't have flaws, don't have fears, that I'm not trying to figure it out. And so, just real quick, so y'all know who Marjay is. Oh, my name is Marjay, y'all. Hey, y'all. That's my mama. Hey, Brandy. That's my stepdaddy, Jelani. And I got some other family, but they all right. So, when I was preparing to do something for like this gathering right here, I knew it would be small, I knew it would be intimate, right? And I reached out. Sometimes I like to do something with like just a drummer, where it's like this rhythmic, poetic type of situation. And I was like, I reached out to this drummer that I worked with before. Like, I know it's kind of last minute, but you know, you think you can slide, think we could do this together? Excuse me. And so I'm talking to the drummer, like we going back and forth. It's a couple messages over a course of a couple days. So then the drummer, or who I think is the drummer, responds back, like, Marjay, this is your cousin Danielle. Like, what event is you talking about? And I'm like, well, damn. I've been messaging Danielle, my cousin, thinking it was Danielle, the drummer. Wow. The whole time, Danielle, the drummer, don't even know we got a show coming up. Wow. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm going to be with the drummer. Yeah, we going to be there. It's going to be good.
The door was painted black.
You know what I mean? The door was painted black. Because before I even start preparing for the show, I asked myself, should I just produce some stuff and run some stuff through my laptop? Or should I do a small band? And it's been a repetitive lesson to me from the Most High that I don't need everybody because they don't really be coming through the way I need them to come through. And I have to depend more solidly on myself. And so I've been producing my own tracks to make my own music. And I'm finna invest in my own recording equipment.
Say that.
And I'm finna get it done. See, y'all got me talking. Like, I've been up here for a minute. I'm supposed to do 2 songs. I ain't started on 1. So this first song is new. And I produced it. It's not done. But I love it so much that I gotta share it. Here we go. I believe I do. I believe I do. In blessed miracles, even those I can't see to be true. Like bands I never deemed to be loosed. In life I never dreamed that I'd choose. This fresh fruit and prayer. Looking in my granny's eyes and seeing lineage. Looking at the sunrise and seeing covenant. Then looking in myself to find the darkness. Cause when light come, I know which part of me gon' need that spark. And yes, a miracle. Water for a part soul indeed. When I'm down on my knees, I feel bathed in his steeds. I am woman. I am home. I am womb. A blessing in itself to walk the duty of this hue. Yeah, it's veggie stew on the stove for the tribe. It's the stumping of the boot. It's the call of the lion. I see heaven here like a fresh grease scalp. Let it glisten, let it shine, let the sun sing out. This is miracle. Cast out the wicked with my tongue. Blessed be the Father, though hardship is just begun. Stand to fight the giant. From evil we will not run. We bow at the foot of throne and praise him the second come. I'm calling upon the angels to guard me till all is done. Stumbling on the path in the boulders of all my wrongs. Light upon my feet so the night shall profit none. At day the arrows fly, but I still see the sun. It's a miracle. Yeah. Yeah, it's a miracle. With my hands up, my fingers wide, with my eyes up to the sky. Why? Cause I'm ready to catch his miracles. Hands up, my fingers wide, with my eyes up to the sky. Why? Cause I'm ready to catch these miracles. I believe in miracles. I believe. I believe in miracles. I believe. Question: how you grow up in the middle of the hood and you still walk out feeling sanctified? And how she got the whole family on the back and she still got time to make a pecan pie, huh? She go to work from a Monday to Monday and still got time to say her grace on a Sunday. Cause grandbabies rarely make it home these days. Rarely make it home. Look, it's old blood on new blood. Blood on his sneakers and blood in his hair. Yeah, he caught up in the crossfire. The sins of his father at his feet to bear. Yeah, he pick up and he run like he stole something worth a little more than the Jolly Rancher stuff inside his pocket. I know ass she needs ain't really much of a deposit. Corner store hues, the Boomer Brown blues. I know crying cause you lost your favorite cousin to the noose. I know pants don't fit, grits and condensed milk. When bleach stains and whole grains come to a bit of tilt. I know hot comb burns, beauty supply perms. You wishing for that fair skin, your belly start to churn. You know grandbabies rarely feel at home these days. Grandbabies rarely feel at home these days. It's old mud on new mud. Mud on my sneakers and mud in my hair. Yeah, I'm caught up at the stop sign. The tears of my mama and my feet to bear. Yeah, but who said that I can't be nobody? This 5'7" left hook call me Rocky. Descendant of Abraham, daughter of Zion. Call me virtue and call me mama to lions. I move with abundance. I'm sugar on rice, so call me comely, good, and everything nice. Yeah. Make some noise for miracles, y'all. Got my hands up, my fingers wide, with my eyes up to the sky. Why? Why? Cause I'm ready to catch these miracles. Hands up, my fingers wide, with my eyes up to the sky. Yeah, yeah. Cause I'm ready to catch these miracles. I believe, I believe in miracles. I believe, I believe. Yeah, yeah. I believe, I believe in miracles. I believe. One more time for miracles, y'all. Thank you. Fresh off the press.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so then I told myself, after I wrote that one, after I performed that one, I would read this little tidbit. Because I was reminded that I wasn't just coming to perform, you feel me? The space had a purpose, and then that purpose was discovering your purpose. So I wanted to make sure I was in tune. So I said, the Most High intended for me to be in this room on this day, because he knows he's been working with me on realizing not only my purpose, but the true, bountiful expanse of my purpose. I'm in this room as someone who's ready to walk fully in her power. And for me, at least on this day, that looks like producing my own music.
Talk to me.
Having faith and investing into my own recording equipment.
Talk to me.
Writing songs that are testimonials of his grace and his power. Remembering who I am and whose I am.
Come on.
Going on daily walks and stretching in the grass. It involves calling abundance to me, because I am an energetic powerhouse.
Come on.
I will show myself to be deserving. I will show myself to be obedient to his will and obedient to my gifts.
Yes.
I call it to me. I call fruit and water, creativity and kindness. I call a safe and abundant womb. I call opportunities and adventure. I call money, gold, land, real estate to me.
Yes.
I call favor and kinship.
Yes.
I break all ties to anything evil and harmful.
Yes.
I break all ties, current and past generational, on my womb, my spirit, my soul.
Yes.
I break all ties to fear, lust, laziness, greed, selfishness, and chaos.
Yes.
I am whole. I am sanctified. I am whole. I am home. I am womb. I am a woman. In Yahshua's name, I do pray. Amen, amen, amen. And so be it.
Amen.
Okay, and y'all, with that being said, I think we need to stand up for this last one. Y'all want to dance? Y'all feel like a two-step or something? This song is Coffee Bean, which is kind of like Pretty Brown Brown Coffee Bean. It's like one of my first ever songs that I created on my own when I decided I was going to do music. And I have the instrumental to this song, but I kind of like, I've outgrown that instrumental, you know what I mean? And so when Bang said she wanted specifically this song, I was like, that's not too far off of what I've been thinking and feeling, because I want to revisit the song just maybe with like a live instrumentation reimagination of it, you know what I mean? So this is me, after realizing I didn't have no drummer, putting this together, okay? And yeah. This is the part where we two-step, y'all. Na 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 na. Hey, look. Well, I'm a pretty brown like coffee bean. Melanin and drip so tempting. They see it in their dreams. Fro picked out. Don't touch, I might get mean. Mango shake, butter with the cocoa oil sheen. Ay, scalp ain't always greased. Still regal in my spleen. Cause I come from many things like the soil and the trees. I hum with the bees. I strum with the strings. Look, I bang like Nyabingha, barefootin' with the breeze. Melodies lift me high. My head wrap raise the sky. Every day's a juicy plum. My rivers never running dry. My valleys growing mighty. my river springing. Love is blooming, baby's booming. Love of life, I'm choosing a brown like coffee bean. Melanin drip so tempting, they see it in their dreams. Fro picked out, don't touch, I might get mean. Mango, shea butter with the cocoa oil. Hey, look, brown with the chocolate smile. Stretch marks been inching grace round my canvas for a while. Ain't paint my toes in months, still wear my sandals out, cause I deserve to have all 10 toes to the ground. Yeah, 15 bangles up my arm, you hear the sound. My colors ain't matching, that's that freedom style. I treat my mind like a garden, watch my flowers bloom now. Hands to the soil, got some seeds I need to plow. I break it down, then pick it back up. Sis, we living in our riches, I ain't talking about bucks. Rocking bamboo, earrings, spitting sunflower seeds. I look myself in the mirror, see the first day of spring. My vision's clearer, I see music when I dream. I see in vivid color, baby, red, yellow, green. Can't hide from the truth, you let your roots set you free. Sunflower child, the rain don't intervene. Okay? What? Did you hear what I said? I said sunflower child, the rain don't intervene. Okay. Look, you be brown, pretty brown. Don't you walk around back slouched, head down. Oh, you so brown, pretty brown. Don't you walk around back slouched, head down. Now y'all repeat. Say, I be brown, I'm pretty brown. What? Say, brown, I'm pretty brown. Yeah, you be brown, you pretty brown. And say, brown, I'm pretty brown. Okay, yeah, we brown, we pretty brown.
I said I'm brown, I'm pretty brown.
Okay, yeah, I'm so brown, so pretty brown.
I'm brown, I'm pretty brown.
Yeah, you be brown, you pretty brown. Don't you walk around back slouched, head down. Oh, you so brown, you pretty brown. Yeah, you keep your eyes off the ground. Yeah. Did my dance moves, y'all. Thank you, guys. Y'all, I don't know how these panelists is doing it up here because it is hot. It is hot up here.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for vibing with me. I appreciate y'all. My name is Marjay. It's been a blessing.